And we are up and running. Good evening, folks. Welcome to Friday Night Tech Talk. Ted, as soon as we went live, Ted started looking all happy. Before he looked all down. I guess he needs to be in front of a camera.
So it's showtime. It's
It's that
showtime.
We have not heard from Mike from Joker Tech, so I'm assuming he's going to come in. So
Yeah, he had a story for
we
us.
have not heard from Mike. Okay, there goes my phone again, as always. Let me recognize who's here. Eleanor actually beat her little brother Nigel today. So Eleanor was the first one in. Nigel was the second one in. Then Brian came in. And it says Samuel, but he said his name is Jacob. So I'll say Jacob came in next. And that's all we've got. Glad everybody came in.
I don't think you tweeted about this.
Yes, I did.
Oh. Let me find it so I can retweet.
Well, I think I did. Don't make me start second guessing myself. I'm an old man, you know.
Oh, yeah, I see it now. We are live at 8 p.m.
Exactly.
Quote the tweet. We are live.
Do you hear that, folks? Unquotable. And of course, you know, 4 quotes make a gallon. Okay. Look at his face. Did you expect something different from me? This is me, remember? When I used to consult at AT&T in Orlando, they always said, every time you think George can't come up with a worse one, he manages. I was very proud of that.
Imagine what you can accomplish if you put your energies elsewhere. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, see, bad puns come naturally to me, so I've learned to be very proud of them. Ask Eleanor, she can tell you. Eleanor used to say to me, why do you use the same bad puns year after year? And I always said, these are the classics. You know. So, all right, we're going to get started without Mike. So the show notes are in the description, folks, so you can click in there and follow along. And of course, that's at mobilegeezer.wordpress.com. It's the first story. So we're going to start with just a little bit what I thought was somewhat interesting from CES. So I am going to share my screen. Okay. Where are you? There you are. There we go. So to me, this was the most interesting thing I said. And I haven't watched everything at CES, but this was one of the most interesting things to me. Rollable and foldable phones give us something to look forward to in tech.
In the future.
Forward to tech. In tech. Well, it doesn't say in the future, but you're right. After a terrible 2020, interest in rollable and foldable phones may be making a comeback. It's funny, when I scroll, it scrolls first on the screen that I'm sharing, and then I see it here on mine. Okay, so these are the rollables. This was the LG rollable. And right after we get through the story, I'll actually show you that little video of it. This is on cnet.com, of course. It may have been just a fleeting glimpse from LG at its CES 2021 press conference, but that tease of a smartphone with a screen that rolls out hints at a comeback for mobile devices looking to shake up the conventional metal and glass slate. Despite the introduction of a few new foldable phones in 2020, notably the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip and Z Fold 2, which Nigel just ordered, I believe, so he should be having his in a couple of weeks, plus the wider release of the Motorola Razr, few people were in the mood to spend as much as $2,000 in the midst of a global pandemic. It's 2021 and well, little has changed. The hope, however, is that a rapid dissemination of the COVID-19 vaccine, still a big if at this point, may bring some normalcy to our lives, as well as a renewed appetite and appreciation for more creative and dynamic phones. Because let's face it, we could all use something to excite us again. LG did its best with its tease during the first day of CES. It was the second brief look, this time offering up the name of the device, the on-the-nose LG Rollable. Curiously, LG executives didn't even mention it during the press conference. Glimpses of the phones were seen in quick promo reels that began and ended the event, but it is real and coming this year. TCL, which has shown off multiple foldable prototypes over the last 2 years, and which teased more rollable concepts on Monday, will finally release a foldable phone to consumers this year, according to Stefan Straight, General Manager of Marketing for the company. The most notable aspect is his target of $1,000 price tag. That's a lot better than other foldables. That's in line with commentary from Samsung last month about more affordable foldables. That would be nice. These foldable and rollable phones aren't just gimmicks meant to generate some buzz. These new experimental designs help move the industry forward when it comes to how mobile devices look and work in the years to come. Just like the iPhone caused handsets to evolve from flip and candy bar designs to sleek metal and glass slates, foldables may spark a change in how we interact with our phones down the line. Lower prices mean that these phones are somewhat more accessible for people. Form factor innovation is definitely a feature. Ronan Dunn, CEO of Verizon's consumer business, said in an interview Tuesday. He didn't comment on the LG Rollable, but he noted he was very impressed with some of the innovations coming down the line. But can that excitement match the initial burst of energy? Turn the clock back 2 years to 2019, and the foldable hype was at a fever pitch. Samsung kicked things off with an early look at its Galaxy Fold, followed a few days later by Huawei's Mate X. Motorola capped off the year with the Razr. Things were supposed to ramp up in 2020 with more foldables coming. We all know what happens next. But the early activity at CES suggests we may be in store for more breakthroughs this year. An evolution from foldable. The LG Rollable phone's display harkens back to the Samsung LG OLED R, the rollable TV that's been a highlight of the past few CES LG conferences. Employing flexible displays in a large 65-inch television is impressive, but squeezing that technology into a handheld phone is another challenge. I can't help but marvel at the technology innovation that goes into these, said Raymond Lamas, an analyst at IDC. It says a lot about display technology and their resolution that can be taught in such a flexible form factor. While LG offered little information about the phone, revealing the name of the device suggests it's ready to move forward with the product. The rollable would mark another radical change in design over even foldable phone and show the industry still has some new tricks up its sleeve. LG isn't the only one thinking about rollables. TCL's display business also showed off 2 rollable concepts. One, a smaller phone with a screen that extends upward to 6.7 inches while in portrait mode, and the other, a 17-inch display that unfurls from both ends like a treasure map. That does look like a map. TCL isn't close to launching a rollable phone. Straight said in an interview ahead of the show that the company was still working on refining the mechanics of its prototype. Samsung reportedly has its own rollable prototype as well, according to ET News via Tom's Guide, and Oppo showed off a rollable concept called the Oppo X 2021. Despite the pandemic, LG didn't stop experimenting last year when they released in the fall the LG Wing, an odd phone with one screen stacked on top of another, able to swivel to a horizontal position, essentially creating a T-shaped display. As unusual as it sounds, CNET editor Lynn La said it actually helped with multitasking and video recording. Even if it wasn't a huge hit, it nudges the industry in a different direction. After years of teasing wild prototypes, TCL is finally ready to get into the foldables game. While the company was mum about foldables during its CES presentation, Straight said the company plans to release one this year at the $1,000 price point. That would be nice. We're 100% convinced that this allows us to be very disruptive, Straight said in an interview ahead of CES. As a result, Straight said that first foldable would use more of a conventional design than the wilder concepts that we've seen already. That suggests a design like a flip phone, which we've seen from Samsung and Motorola. These kinds of devices come in at lower price points than larger phones with fold-out screens like the Galaxy Z Fold 2 or Huawei Mate X. Likewise, Samsung was hinting at even more foldables in 2021. The Z Fold 2 was praised as a smartphone that reimagines what's possible with mobile technology, and I'm excited to say it's just a hint of what's to come as we continue to explore, evolve, and expand the category-changing space, said T.M. Rowe, president of mobile communications for Samsung, in a blog post. That falls in line with an ET News report that Samsung has 4 foldables coming this year, including 2 variants, each of its flip and fold lineups.
4 foldables, wow.
4 foldables, yeah, I've read that in other places too. The breadth of foldable phones coming suggests this won't just be a showpiece or a plaything for one percenters, and we may all be able to get a taste of where phones are heading over the next few years. So that would imply lower prices, one would hope. So, but if TCL's comes out with, maybe we can all get one. We'll see what happens. Anyway, I thought that was the most interesting thing. But obviously, Ted, you've seen more CES coverage than I have. Have you seen other things that you got excited about?
Yes, my personal favorite, let me tell you, is this bathtub that's actually a spa.
Oh, I saw an article, but I didn't get to look at it. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it just fills up from the bottom, and then it keeps filling, and then the water just flows over from the sides, and it doesn't go on the floor. No, it gets recycled. And then it has, like aromatherapy features and whatnot. It's actually a living spa in your bathroom for the low price of $8,000.
I was going to say, how much? Yeah. Yeah, I think I saw a quick something, and I saw that it was really, really expensive. Okay, if you look in the comments, guys, Mike Joker texts, he'll be upstairs soon. Hello, Crystal, good to see you here. And okay, so we're going to move on. So hopefully, Mike. Well, let's see if I can hold off a second, see if Mike rolls in. Meanwhile,
there was also the laptops that were interesting.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, there was a lot of the current updates on the laptops now aren't just updated with new Intel chips. They're now like running the more efficient AMD chips, so Ryzen. So
those 3,000 and the, what, 5,000?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, both of them. 4,000, 5,000. Not in the market for a laptop, but yeah, it's actually a good time for laptops.
Yeah.
For all of 2021, and then what else? I see you have it on the stories. The mask from Razer, obviously it was.
Yes. We'll be getting to that in a little while. All right. Meanwhile, while we're waiting for Mike, I'm going to see if I can share my screen on this.
We can go to you can do a story that Mike maybe didn't want to do.
I don't know what Mike didn't want to do.
Come on, I can tell you right now, Mike will probably not be interested in the users deserting WhatsApp.
No, Mike sent me that story.
He did? I thought he sent you the one about people used phone sales growing.
Yes, that's what I meant. I'm sorry.
I was saying the second to last one, users deserting WhatsApp.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just thought that was an interesting story. Anyway, we'll see if we even get to it. All right, I'm going to try to play this quick highlight video, and it's really quick. This was LG's rollable phone, so that's what it. See how it slides up?
Yeah, I loved how the Samsung LG did that. They had some style. It was like the last thing at the end of the video, like an Easter egg.
I just think that is so cool. And of course, I keep wondering how much is that going to cost?
I applaud the video editing, game recognized game. They did it like a Marvel movie where at the end they they add that little Easter egg at the end.
Okay.
to show you
I
what's
just
coming
think
at the end.
I just thought it was cool. Now, I have another video. Let me share my screen again. Get past this. See if I can bring this up. Okay, now I got some stuff from the BBC.
Hold on, Brian is saying they better lower price because no one can afford them. I think people can buy them, regardless of afford. But I just don't think. Well, actually, I just think people are ready for weird just yet.
I think people are somewhat opening up, but I agree with Brian. They need to lower the prices, but I think they're all kind of on board.
They're $1,000. Like the cheapest one is $1,000.
Prices. Okay.
Cheapest one is $1,000. People have shown that they can afford $1,000 on a phone.
And here's Mike says he'll be here soon. And here he is again. So hopefully he's coming. Meanwhile, let me share my screen. This is the other thing that I thought was really cool. And I could see myself getting this.
Yes.
This is from the BBC. Watch these glasses. I think this is the coolest. If I can get it to run, let's see. Well, we're gonna watch the commercial first, I guess.
No. Oh no, this is the one. This is the video. So he has some.
And watch how you can adjust these.
What's he adjusting though?
He's adjusting the actual prescription in the glass.
Yeah, I'm not impressed.
I'm impressed.
I want my doctor, my optometrist, to be taking care of that. Don't want no fiddly.
Well, he's got his prescription in these glasses too.
So why is he adjusting it?
Go ahead. Listen.
We can't hear it, right?
Oh, you can't. Okay, but watch it. All right, so these are very thick, but when he adjusts it, it actually changes the prescription in the glass, and somehow he has his prescription included in there. And they come in sunglasses.
All right, so if that sunglasses is able to not be sunglasses by turning it, I'll be impressed.
Well, I don't think it can do that yet.
Nope.
Anyway, I just thought it was very cool.
Meh. And they're very unstylish.
Well, if they come out at some reasonable price, I could see myself trying that. Just saying. I thought it was pretty cool.
I think that's what my optometrist is for. Just set it and let me just, put it on.
Well, I'm thinking maybe you could work with your optometrist and show him this, and he could somehow put your prescription in there. I'm guessing. I'm not sure.
I know, like, there's current lenses where they can actually put two prescription straights in a glass. So, like the middle part would have, like, people for farsighted, and if you have trouble reading, the bottom part where you look down, it's magnification. So,
well, before I had my cataract surgery, I used to wear trifocals, progressives, and I found those easier to deal with than bifocals because I had bifocals for about 2 years, and they used to drive me crazy. But when I went to trifocals or progressives, I was able to wear those like 5 or 6 years, and now I only wear glasses since I had my what did I just say a few minutes ago?
Your cataracts, trifocals, bifocals.
Yes. I had my right cataract done, and then 2 years later my left. Well, since then, as soon as I got my left done, I went back to the license bureau and retook my test. Well, I don't have to wear glasses when I'm driving or anything else. I just need them when I'm reading. So.
Mm-hmm.
And the good thing is, as far as when I'm not reading, I'll have 20/20 vision in both eyes for the rest of my life. So I think that's cool. I like Brian's comment about Mike keeps teasing us about he's going to get here. Good point, Brian.
I think I can knock out a story before he comes in.
Are you going to go with the S21?
No, the WhatsApp users, the WhatsApp
You
one.
want to go down there?
I think Mike would want to be in for the Samsung one.
Okay. All right, let's go
See
down.
how I think about you, Mike? Don't say I never did anything for you.
I'm bringing it up. Okay. And I'm sharing the screen. All right. Whenever you're ready.
All right. Message. Oh, WhatsApp users
This
flock.
was on the BP, so
Message.
good.
WhatsApp users flock to rival message platforms. Message platforms Signal and Telegram have both seen a huge surge in downloads around the following a controversial update to WhatsApp's terms and conditions. WhatsApp has told its 2 billion users that they must allow it to share data with its parent company Facebook if they wish to continue using it. This does not apply to its users in the UK and Europe. However, the notification has been sent to everyone. All WhatsApp users will be unable to continue the service unless they accept the new terms by 8th of February. The platform said the update will enable it to offer features such as shopping and payments. 2 features that nobody asked for on WhatsApp.
Yeah, they discussed this on Android Central podcast this week, and Jerry made a very good point. The problem with what they're telling users they have to accept is they're going to share data with Facebook, and they may share it with unnamed companies, which to me is a big problem too.
It also said its practice of sharing data with Facebook was not new. Both Telegram and Signal also offer free-to-use encrypted end-to-end services. So actually the practice isn't new. WhatsApp actually already started sharing data, I think in 2014.
No, Android Central said 2016.
Okay, so 2016, yeah, they started sharing data with Facebook, and you had to opt out if you wanted them to stop.
And that's the difference. Now they're saying if you don't accept it, you can't even be on WhatsApp.
Mind you, I do recall Facebook promising this would never happen. So,
yes, me too.
I think this gives more edge for the people that want to, dismantle Facebook and, separate WhatsApp from Facebook.
We all know what Facebook promises are worth, don't we?
Yeah, but it's fuel. It's fuel for Congress. They're like,
I agree. And as a matter of fact, what will I be doing tomorrow morning? I'll be going upstairs to my landlord's to help his daughter get all her pictures off Facebook so she can shut her Facebook down.
Damn. Preach. Wow. She's shutting down she's cutting off Although in order to shut it down, like they still have access to your data. You have to write them to say,
Yes, you do.
Them. Yeah.
But she wants to just get off Facebook. So she wants to get all her pictures first, which I can help her do that.
Also provide her some postage stamp to, cut the head off the snake. It's 35 cents.
All right, you going to continue this or you want to stop?
Let's see. Signal strength. According to the data from Analytics Sensor Tower, Signal was downloaded globally 246,000 times this week before WhatsApp announced the change.
Number difference is pretty incredible.
This included big surges in India where downloads went from 12,000 to 2.7 million, which is why they were having trouble. And in the UK from 7,400 to 191,000. And the US from 63,000 to 1.1 million. Wow. I didn't know America had it in them. Our new servers are ready to serve you, according to Signal's tweet. It also received an endorsement from Tesla co-founder Elon Musk, who tweeted use Signal on January 7th.
Yeah.
Telegram has proved to be even more popular, with downloads booming globally from 6.5 million for the week beginning 28 December to 11 million the following week. In the UK, downloads went from 47,000 to 101,000, and in the US, they went from 272,000 to a triple increase at 671,000. During the same period, WhatsApp global downloads shrank from 11.3 million to 9.2 million. Even so, one industry watcher said he did not think this was necessarily represented a big problem for WhatsApp, which has been downloaded 5.6 billion times since launch in 2014.
I agree with that guy.
It's going to be difficult for rivals to break user habits, and WhatsApp will continue to be one of the most popular and widely used messaging platforms, said Craig Chappell, Mobile insight strategist at Sensor Tower. It'll be interesting to see what this latest trend sticks or users revert back to what they know. WhatsApp has said that the data it shares with its parent company does not include messages, groups, or call logs, which is true. That's where encryption comes in unless Facebook is lying.
No, I think they're not doing any of that. All they want to do is sell your information to people who can target you with ads.
However, it does include phone number and other information from the user's phone number, like make, model, mobile company, internet protocols, like which Wi-Fi you're connected to, any payment and financial transactions made over WhatsApp.
Yeah, so if they know what Wi-Fi you're connected to, they know where you are at any given moment. So anyway, I agree with that guy. I don't think it's going to affect WhatsApp all that much, but it's certainly helping Signal and Telegram. That's for sure. Yep. Yeah. All right, so we're still waiting for Mike. Let's see, Brian.
Facebook Live. Execute Order 66 on Zuckerberg.
Okay. And I see your comment here, Brian. I'll show it when we go back to the S21 story, if Mike ever gets it. We're trying to hold off on it. What's the story I had after the WhatsApp? Let's see.
That was the Samsung.
No, it's the Elon Musk. I said after the WhatsApp. All right, we're still waiting for Mike. So let me do this Elon Musk story. This one was also from the BBC. Okay, I'm going to share the screen. I just thought it was kind of a cool, interesting story.
Yes, maybe Mike is trying to replace his WhatsApp with Telegram fully now.
This is another one I found on the BBC. If you remember, people, Elon Musk was promising to get global Wi-Fi around the world, and it looks like he's starting to do it. So Elon Musk's Starling given green light in UK. The company began rolling out a limited trial last month. Oh, wait, let me start up here. Elon Musk Starlink satellite internet service is already being used by a handful of people across the UK. The company began rolling out a limited trial last month. It has emerged after Ofcom granted it a license in November. It will compete against providers such as OneWeb. Now, of course, remember, these are European, which government investment controversially saved from the bankruptcy in November. Telecom analysts said the competition could help drive down the price of satellite broadband for consumers. Business security, Alok Sharma had to issue a ministerial direction to push forward the investment in OneWeb. So another, they bail out companies just like we do. After civil servants stated their objection, with critics questioning why ministers would invest so much money in what remains a risky venture. Mr. Musk plans to deliver broadband internet around the world using 42,000 satellites. His SpaceX company has launched more than 800 into orbit already and hopes to have 12,000 in the sky by 2026. So if we're talking 42,000, we must be talking 2029, 2030 before they're all up. Anyway, Starlink began testing its small satellite dishes dubbed Dishy McFlatface in North America. And I like that, Dishy McFlatface. Sounds like a cartoon character. UK consumers will pay £439 for the gear and a further $84 a month to receive Starlink's broadband. Sounds pretty expensive to me. The early pricing we've seen is probably too high for mass adoption, you think? Telecoms analyst Matthew Howard told BBC News. However, a likely competition between Starlink and OneWeb might help it become a more affordable option for consumers. Zen Internet founder Richard Tang said the service could also benefit those living in remote areas of the UK. Well, that would make sense. It could help alleviate the UK's remote area connectivity issue and support those in the middle of nowhere who can't get conventional high-speed broadband. Last month, MPs warned the government would fail to achieve a target of offering 1 Gbps capable broadband to 85% of the UK by 2025. Initially, it had aimed for a nationwide coverage within 5 years. I doubt that. But that target was scaled back after it emerged only 25% of the promised funding would be available, at least for the next 4 years. Okay, so that was it. I just thought it was interesting that he's actually getting this up, but it seems like a pretty expensive proposition to me. And yes, you might help people who live in remote areas, but traditionally, people that live in remote areas are usually poorer than the rest of people. True?
Yeah, true.
So I don't know how they're going to afford it.
Although I'm thinking, if you could afford to live so far away, deep suburbs, maybe you can afford some satellites flying around providing you data.
But I don't think they're talking suburbs. I think they're talking out in the country and farms and that kind of stuff. That's my guess. But since you said the phrase, of course, you immediately made me think so far away.
I think it's an Apple market thing.
You think it's a what?
Apple. Maybe it's it's a market for Apple users. Like what's that guy? The CEO of Snapchat.
I know I'm missing it. I'm thinking if people can't afford it because they're too far, I'm missing your whole point, I think.
The point is, Apple users will most likely be able to afford it.
Oh,
so I think that's maybe the intended market. That's the intended market for Apple users.
With an iPhone, you can probably afford that service. All right, now I think we waited. Should we go on to the guest 21 or?
Trolled for her this six. Yeah, so I was looking at this other story on BBC. This 69-year-old trolled for her too sexy photos.
Okay.
Want to do that one?
I don't have that story.
It was on the BBC on the same thing.
Oh, you want to go that way? I'm just highlighting Brian's comment, and Juan's in here. Hey, Juan, great to see you here.
And never mind.
And Juan, I was watching UNTK show, and just so you know, I agree with you about the two lower phones. I totally disagree with you about at least I somewhat disagree with you about the Ultra. But of course, I just ordered the Ultra yesterday, so I guess I would disagree with you.
Hold on, this is news. You ordered the Galaxy S Ultra?
Yes, I did.
Oh, wow. What happened to the budget for 2021?
I wasn't going to do it. But then when I saw it, they were willing to give me $700 for my S20. Okay, it's bye S20.
So good.
So I'm trading in.
I'm going to see that here, folks.
2 weeks from today, supposedly I should have it. And they threw, because I pre-ordered, they threw in the new Buds, which are $230. Well, I got that for free. And you're right. Juan says you've got skin in the game. Yes,
ladies and gentlemen, Will is not here, but somehow his spirit is.
Yeah, I guess. Will probably just took me over. But I was telling Eleanor earlier today, when I got my invoice, it said I had saved over $1,000. And when I started calculating everything I got, they were right. I did save over $1,000. So anyway, so I ended up spending a total of $500 to get $1,500 worth of stuff. So
you had to trade in your Galaxy S20 and pay $500 to get for the Galaxy S Ultra and the Galaxy Buds Pro.
Right.
And that makes sense to me.
If you did you watch Ted and the Juan show at all?
Yeah, it was too late at night. I couldn't do it.
And I agree with them, and a lot of other people are saying the same thing, that the S21 and the was it Plus or Pro? It's right here, Plus. I agree. To me, that's such a minimal incremental thing, and they went to plastic on the S21. So I don't think those are worth it, even though they took $200 off the phones from last year. But I thought the Ultra it was worth it, and it's less than last year. And I'm going from a regular S20 to the 21 Ultra, which for me, I think is a pretty good upgrade.
Okay.
I never bought the S20 Ultra.
All right. He's
All
gonna
right.
have an Ultra phone. Could have probably had a Z Fold too. I think they're offering. Hold on. I think they do offer that same rebate for the Z Fold 2.
The trade-in for that thing?
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll find out from Nigel because he ordered that today or yesterday. I think he ordered it. So he's going to have his around the same time that I get my S21 Ultra. So.
Okay. All right.
All right, we're still okay. It's 9:36.
Maybe you'll review that phone. Your first.
Actually, I've reviewed a few phones before, but you know how I feel about me.
When was the last phone you reviewed?
The last phone I reviewed was probably 2 years ago. What was it? I don't remember. Oh, he's here. We held out long enough. He actually.
I'm sorry.
We've been ducking around. We've been ducking around the S21 story, just waiting for you.
You know what? I'm here to cause chaos.
Okay.
Anarchy.
Well, I'm going to cause you a little chaos. And Ted and I have figured out that Will somehow took me over yesterday because I did the Galaxy S21 Ultra.
Will took you over.
Well, I ordered the Galaxy.
You what?
I ordered the Galaxy.
You know how Will always says, I'm not going to get it. And then he comes in next show with the phone that he said he wasn't going to get.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was watching the show. Here's what happened. Yesterday I was working. I'm always the guy, if you have a long ride, give it to George. Well, they sent me to Knoxville, which is about a 120-mile ride. I'm supposed to drop off a car there, pick up another one, and bring it back to Chattanooga. I get there. Well, the car that I'm supposed to pick up, they had just sent for an oil change. So I sat there and watched the whole presentation from Samsung because it took an hour and a half before I got the car back.
Okay.
And when I saw that they were willing to give me $700 for my Galaxy S20, I said, okay, you're gone. That was it. And I ordered it. By the time I left Knoxville, the order was all done.
And what other goodies did you get with it?
I got the buds, which are $230 normally. I got those for free.
Okay.
You get the case too?
A case, I believe. With the buds, you mean? Oh, you mean with the phone?
For the phone, yeah.
No, I'll get a few free cases. I'll probably get one from Carl, I would hope. And
what else do you also? Do you also get a power adapter?
No.
So you're probably gonna keep. They don't want the power adapter back with the Galaxy S20, right? Or
no.
Okay.
That's interesting because
but I will be sending it back in the original box. Anyway, so it's supposed to show up two weeks from today. And Serrano is in here. What's up, dude? Glad to have you in
Butler,
here.
what's up?
So I just shocked everybody, telling them I ordered the Galaxy S20.
Yeah, that was. I didn't expect that. You sounded pretty like I'm just going to just ride this out for a little bit here.
Exactly, but when I said, okay, if they give me $700 for my Galaxy S20, well, that would be the same as me ordering a mid-range phone. So I
just saw Brian's comment. Joker bought that spot and fell into it.
Well,
yeah. That's funny.
I highlighted that later because you kept.
And to be honest with you, I had to take a shower. I couldn't even stand myself. I smelled like the inside of a cardboard box. It smelled like tires. Okay. And so I couldn't. Yeah. So I'm here. I'm fresh. I'm clean. I'm fresh.
So fresh and so clean.
Yes, it was funny to see him instead of going to a spa. I needed a shower, so yeah.
I'll do Cool in the Gang. He's fresh.
Yeah. Here we go.
All right, so now we're going to the S21 story. Okay.
Okay.
You want to read it, or?
Well, you know, I okay. My soapbox has been building and building. I wanted to do. I didn't want to, though. I didn't want to. You know, I don't know how you wanted to do this, but I gotta just say my piece here. You know, okay. and I wanted to do it on my own channel. Like
comment about your shower. Okay.
Wait, let me see. Yeah, shower, huh? Yeah, that's right. Well, it's not a spa, but it felt good.
All right. So, what is your soapbox issue here?
So you know. I see Juan here too. Right. It just so happens that I've been seeing these videos, and it's maybe done a lot of thinking,
Okay.
And the one thing is, I'll start off with the OnePlus. Let me start off with OnePlus.
Okay.
And
who I think is a company that's lost and has no.
Well, here, wait a minute. Now this is where we might differ, George. This is where we might differ.
Okay.
OnePlus. There's a few things going on here.
Okay.
Let me just. I saw this guy Tech Alters videos, and gave me some insight about the company.
Okay.
I thought I thought a while back, and I slowly learned. But as more I delved into it, I didn't know how intertwined their other brand is in with OnePlus for one.
Oh yeah.
Oppo. I thought that he took down. I thought he took down that video.
Well, it's really showing through
to the OnePlus.
Well, and what's going on with OnePlus is, and I as a former as always I say, as a former car guy, I'm going to reference
You're going to relate it to cars.
Yeah, I'm going to relate it to cars. It's called brand engineering. Okay.
Ooh.
We have brand engineering happening here with OnePlus. That's number one. Okay. General Motors is a perfect example. If you look at the cars in the 70s and 80s, even in the 60s, they were built on the same structure.
They were.
Okay. As a parts guy,
I know.
As a parts guy, and Ford is Ford and Chrysler were just equally guilty too. Yeah. But as a parts guy, I would sell one part and it would fit 5 different cars.
Yeah. I remember that. I remember mechanics telling me that kind of
right.
stuff.
So that's number one. They're streamlining their processing.
Well, I don't think it's them. I think it's the parent company. Was it BBK? I think they're
wait a minute. No, wait. Okay. Now there were cars back in the day, and it still kind of happens today. Especially again, Ford is a big one. For a prime example, the Ford Ranger that's out today, the 2020, whenever it came out, that car was already built. That truck has been built already around different places around the world.
Okay.
They basically brought the assembly line, made it so passes, whatever federal laws need to be, and they make that truck what I think was in Europe or in Australia, I believe was being built.
Here's one agreeing with you basically.
Yes.
That's what I said. I think BBK is dictating this stuff.
And I wouldn't call it a parts bin. I would call it just brand engineering. Okay, because they're
I think they're both saying the same thing using different phrases.
There's a parts bin. Wait a minute. Here's a parts bin phone. Okay. This is everybody. We'll all agree.
So what is that? The iPhone SE?
SE, right? Which is an iPhone 7, 8.
iPhone 8.
Okay. All they do is put the guts in it. So that's a parts bin. To me, is that you take the Oppo phone and you take the OnePlus phone, and they have similarities, but they're not exactly the same. But
they're awfully close most of the time.
Awfully close. Now, if you took a Chevy Nova, and a Pontiac Ventura, you could see the body lines were the same.
Yeah.
Okay? But they were different. They made the little differences. Okay. Yeah. Even the power plant, maybe the differences in the transmission and the rear differential. So those are those little nuances. Now, let me just go one step further with this whole madness in my head.
Okay.
OnePlus was a fused, for the Android nut. Okay, and they saw that to Tech Alter's credit, yes, they're going to fail. But they don't want this to fail. They want to get a beachhead here in the United States.
Well, wait. First of all, when you say they're going to fail as an absolute,
they weren't going to fail.
Explain that.
How is it going to explain that? How you can't cater to the enthusiasts, because the minute that they change, make any kind of changes, the enthusiast is going to say, "F you, we're out of here," because you don't cater to us people. Okay.
And you're right. And I've seen other articles kind of same thing. One is making his comment about how close.
Exactly, Juan. Exactly. If you look at it, and it's always like a bleed down effect. You'll see different phones. You'll see the flagship, and then all of a sudden, forget the term I used to use, and it was from car engineering. Basically, how the
He just had a
way the design of the phone. Yes, you'll see the square modules was a perfect example. Okay. And yes, I mean, I'm sorry, the A51 I think was the first one we saw the square module on the cheapy phone. So again, anyway, basically is what I'm saying is I really think they want to make a foothold here and be a competitor here in the United States, and look at now what comes to mind is the Nord N10 and the N100. Right. Now I got an email earlier today that
so did I.
So you got the email. I think Metro port a number in, and I believe you get the here. Let me go find it. I think you get the phone for free.
To me, the whole Nord thing, it tells me this company doesn't know what direction to go in. That's what it's been saying.
Direction they want to sell to the
general public.
Thank you. I was going to say average consumer, but we can't call them that. We don't want to call them that. But what I wanted that's just the thing is, people need to just chill out and just realize this is a business. Everybody lost their when they saw a Google employee many years ago carrying an iPhone. Now, everybody thought, oh my God, Google employee carrying an iPhone. But it's Google, okay? Google wants to sell all their stuff to everybody. Anybody has any kind of mobile technology, you're going to see Google's influence, not Android. This is not an Android person. This is a Google person. Okay.
I see.
So the same kind of mentality is we have to just get out of the mentality of oh my God, how dare they do this? How dare they that this phone doesn't have? Stop for a second. Maybe
I don't have that how dare they mentality. I just don't think they're making these two phones going to be
not losing their way. I disagree. They're not losing their way. They're putting boots to the ground. They're going to have their stuff here, and they're going to be there could be a competitor for like Samsung.
Keep in mind, they've been at T-Mobile, a year and a half, 2 years now, and they haven't gotten anywhere, really.
All this talk reminds me of Narcos, what was it? Oh, Narcos Mexico, where the Mexican cartel, they unified all the drug lords in Mexico. Mm-hmm. And essentially, to the outside person, the business looked like it was just to funnel marijuana. But the actual business was to make money. And it was logistics. So they just funneled, cocaine, even though they didn't make it, but it was they just made more money that way. Mm-hmm. And I think, OnePlus has the same mentality that, they don't, you guys think that they're just in it to make the phones, but no.
No, I think they're in it to make money. I just don't think they're going to make a whole lot of money.
But how do they make money? Strategy. It's not just through the phones. It's like also through their brand.
I just think their current strategy isn't working. And this is how I see it. I think Carl Pei had
left for a reason.
Had a direction for that company, and I think they successfully did it up until the OnePlus 8 Pro. Now I think he left, the direction's gone. That's just my opinion. Let's see what Juan is saying.
Well, this
is Rishi. Rishi's in here. OnePlus seems to be headed the same path as Motorola. They are throwing phones for all audiences into the ocean and hoping people will bite. I agree with that, Rishi. I agree with that completely.
Good point.
Now Juan has something to say. 6T to Op 7T. Op was a fast-growing option in the premium mid-range. Not crazy growth, but easily the most successful Chinese brand behind Lenovo using the Motorola. So that kind of backs up what Rishi just said. Okay.
So who do you think is doing better now? Moto, or who's in a better position now, Moto or OnePlus?
I still think Moto only because they have the long name and the general public knows who generally.
I think the other thing selling for Moto is the Moto G series. OnePlus is actually selling flagships and mid-rangers.
See, I can't seem to broaden my horizons, my vision outside of the United States for one, because this is all I see and hear every day. And then when you talk about, who's got the better foothold here, even if you walk into a Cricket or Metro or what's another a boost? The first thing that's going to hit you in the face is going to be a Samsung anyway.
That's true. But
okay, and then
if you walk into one of those stores and said OnePlus to the general consumer, they're not going to know what you're talking about. If you say Moto to that person, they're going to have an idea who you mean.
And this is where the N10 and the N100 comes into play, because you're not going to sell a OnePlus 8, okay, to somebody that is scraping together because they've been hit by the Corona downturn, and they need a new phone, and they feel like they're getting overcharged. And then meanwhile, again, I can't help myself. Metro pulls of this deal where they show, get a free phone, just move your number here, and we'll give you a great deal on a carrier.
Here's Juan's comment. I would guess that he probably knows it. I would guess this is for the American market.
Yeah, that's actually true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I guess I think Rishi's right. OnePlus is trying to do kind of what Moto does. I don't think they're going to be successful.
And then if we try to expand that globally, though, too, just like how Moto is doing, or just outside the United States, mostly what comes to mind. I somehow belong to the Motorola group that's out of India.
Well, yeah, but keep in mind, what's the number one phone in Brazil? It's always Moto, isn't it?
Right. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Wow.
That's been for a couple of years.
Yeah, that's I can believe that.
Yeah,
I can believe that.
That's LG K series is the average consumer phone of choice.
Okay, I agree with Rishi here. I think Motorola does make the budget phone, so we'll have to see how the Note stacks up against Moto E and G series. And I agree with them. I think they do make. I thought Nokia was going to start filling that slot, and then they fell away, like a year ago or something.
So, and then I can go on forever. I don't want.
Ren is saying OnePlus is standing strong right now, especially with their units like the OnePlus 8, 8 Pro, and 8T, which are now past phones, in my opinion, regardless of the high price. Moto is still known, but most of their devices are too expensive. Well, I kind of disagree here.
But now
Moto be stylish. This is not expensive at all.
He's not in the United States. Renz is not in the United States.
Oh, he's Philippines? Yeah.
I believe so. Okay. Please, Renz, pipe in. Let me know if I'm right with that. And hey, I saw your hi. Thank you. Hello. Welcome to the stream. So,
wait. Mark's got another comment. Nord is built to focus. I agree 100% because that's what they were going after when they made the Nord in the first place. Was India. India is a bigger market than the United States.
And please, anybody, if I'm out of line or it's misspoken in any way, but that's how I kind of perceive, because you don't see Oppo here, because then that's cannibalizing them.
Yeah, I agree.
What I see is.
But OnePlus is Chinese, so I don't know how that's going to fare in China.
What do you mean?
Yeah, you lost me too, Ted.
India's not really liking Chinese products right now.
Oh, I think OnePlus is fairly popular in India. I could be wrong, but my impression is that it's fairly popular in India.
So
here's Brian's comment. To compete in the Android space, they need to have a clear advantage in two categories and no clear deficiency. I wonder why two categories. And
clear advantage in two.
And keep in mind, of the group we have here right now with comments, us, everybody, I think the person, well, maybe Juan might get the most OnePlus phones, but other than that, Rishi, he has a lot of experience with OnePlus phones, and he always says the weak point is the cameras. And I think as long as that's the weak point, you're never going to be successful.
The Pro did really nice.
It does. They were good. That was a good camera.
Joseph Forbes is in here. Good to see you, brother.
What's up, Forbes?
Mike came in here and started a big argument.
Yeah. No, I'm not doing like Will does. So
I would too. Yeah, I agree with the OnePlus guy. I would too would choose a OnePlus flagship over a Motorola flagship.
Yeah, now he's using his OnePlus guy label right now, but he's got like 4 different labels. He can use any one of them when he wants to.
Wait a minute. Now, this is a hell of a device.
Which is?
The Moto Edge. Okay. This is the hell of a device, and that's how I said it in my video. I mean, I sold my OnePlus 8 Pro over that. Hey! Just because I sold it, you don't have to turn up the music.
Okay, so now,
I thought you were going to sell the OnePlus 7.
Of the people here, by far the most knowledgeable camera person is Juan, and he says they were competitive. So I got to believe it because he knows a lot more about it than anybody else here.
He's been doing this for years with the camera, but then again,
you mentioned I haven't seen a real camera review for that guy in 2021.
For who?
For who?
Juan, his Patreon. He does like real camera reviews on basically 40 minute camera reviews on smartphones. Definitely check out his Patreon. You get
that's what Brian says they need.
Good cameras, good updates, and decent performance and decent battery. And again, going back to the update situation, as much as I'm always, George, that's always been a sore point with me.
Was it?
Right.
Yeah, stay tuned, he says. I gotta realize that though too, when the consumer gets an update, they kind of either don't know what to do, or they get pissy, or they get whiny and all that stuff. It's us phone nerds that want Apple style support for our Android device.
Is that wrong?
That's where I agree with the way you started the whole conversation. Yeah, aiming at us tech nerds is never going to make them successful.
It's not. Eventually, and look what's happening now. Look what's happening now. Everybody on Twitter and everybody on the videos and all, they're all going and getting cranky because now they're selling a subpar phone. Okay. Or, you know what I mean? They're going for, I'm telling you, they're trying to get a foothold here and be competitive here in the United States. And they got a battle, but for some reason I have this feeling they maybe have deeper pockets than Moto, because Moto just puts a phone out and no fanfare.
Yeah, but when you say deeper pocket, okay, OnePlus has BBK. Moto has Lenovo. I know whose pockets I'd bet on there.
But do you see any advertising? Do you see any kind of marketing?
I don't see any advertising for either one.
Well, you never know. You might see something. You got the Super Bowl coming up. You might surprise us.
Whatever happened to that TV that OnePlus was supposed to put out anyway?
Anymore, so I won't see it anyway.
Yeah, that's a good question. What happened to that TV?
I did hear about the wristband, which looks interesting.
Yeah. So, and let me ask you, George, being you went out and got the Ultra, why did you get the Ultra? Why did it have to be? Is it because of the trading value?
If you look, I was telling one, I was listening to him and TK talk about the 21s on their show, and if you look at some articles, everybody is saying the regular 21 and plus, there's such incremental better, and they went down with a lot of stuff. Now, yes, the phones are $200 cheaper, but extremely incremental upgrades, and I mean extremely. And the S21 is plastic in the back, not even glass. Now, the Ultra, this is the one. This is their true flagship. Now, last year, all I got was the S20 regular. So for me, this is a big jump on the S20 to the S21 Ultra.
Well, the cameras alone, for exactly.
That. Right. So that's why. But keep in mind, the reason I did it when I knew I could get $700 from my S20, and then I'm like, well, then I can afford the Ultra. So that's what I did.
What does the Juan mean by that? The S21 is a way to charge more for an FE.
So yeah, and I agree. What he's saying is an FE came out as the fan edition phone, and from what he and a whole bunch of other articles are saying, he and TK and a whole bunch of others are saying, yes, the S21 and I'd say the Pro is just a kind of fancier FE, but they're nowhere near the class of an Ultra. And that's why I went for the Ultra.
Okay, I see. So they basically upsold the FE with the Galaxy S21. Okay,
and the FE was a great phone, but they wanted to charge more money, so they made
it's $100 more. Stop buying. $100 more.
How big is it to you guys losing the SD card?
Very big.
To me, it's not a big deal because
you do know Google is going to start charging you in June, right, George?
For what?
For your photos to upload, to back them up.
Oh, that's fine. I have other places to back up photos.
Okay.
Well,
you got options.
That's where we're headed to.
Yes, I have options, but for me, it wasn't a big deal because now keep in mind, I'm thinking as a YouTuber who's going to change phones every 2 or 3 months. Well, 128 and up, 128 gigs and up. Well, right. I don't need any more than that because I know I'm going to be changing phones in a few months. I always do.
Oh yeah, you're the
So to me, it wasn't such a big deal.
So could you guys recommend the S20 to somebody?
No, I think right now the best phone is the Galaxy S10. S10 Plus.
No, the phone I would recommend, which I do not have, is the Fan Edition. I said all along, if I had bought the Fan Edition because I already had the S20, I certainly would have picked that as the phone of the year.
What's it? What I'm saying? Wanted to feel good headlines. Wow, Samsung charged less for the S21, but it's not a direct path from the 20.
And they did get those headlines because everybody talked about, hey, it's $200 cheaper, and they're right. So that's true.
Do you know what was a clear improvement though? The stream, like the entire show, like otherwise, it was way better than last year.
Yeah, okay.
It's like, they basically picked some parts from Google with like, oh, I like how Google did the home thing. Like, let's take that.
The only thing I didn't like in the stream, because I just thought it was, here we go with some more overproduction, but it only lasted a few minutes, was the dancers, the 2 girls dancing. I thought that was this. I was like, this is not Broadway. At least it only lasted a couple of minutes.
My favorite part was the smart things, though. That the tags. I'm actually pretty excited for those. I hope they're actually they work with different phones, because they're not like tiles. They also you can also program an action in them, which is like what is it? The if this then that buttons. So I'm excited.
I want to just go back.
Well, I'm getting one of those. I got one of those free, so we'll see.
Oh, why don't you just tell us this now? Wow, lucky you.
I'm an old fart, remember?
All right, that is quite the deal then. Wow.
Good, Mike.
Well, just Juan's comment about the buy the F20 for $499. It's all around better phone than the S20. I've been hearing, and I'm slowly trying to understand and get into this, but supposedly, don't forget, the S20 or the 865 chip had a separate modem. It was not integrated like this one. Supposedly, with the 880 chip, is going to have better modem, better radios. Right. Now, if there's, I've been hearing this word carrier aggregation, and what I understand, please, is basically how the bands all function, or how the carriers putting out the 5G. It's supposed to be a better way of getting the 5G out there.
And it may be, but I can tell you, having had the S20 since
5G. There we go. That's what I wanted to say.
But I can tell you, I haven't had the S20 since last February, both in Miami and in Chattanooga. Every time I go outside, I have a pretty good 5G signal, as far as I can tell.
No, I have the one even with the what do you call that? The OnePlus phone. It here in Jersey, it dips it in and out. I'll have it. I never had a phone issue. It's just for the data.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. But I can tell you from day one, when I was in Florida, all around the Miami area, and back here in Chattanooga area, I always have a good, strong 5G signal on both my iPhone and my S20. So that's not an issue for me at all.
And is it really a bad thing for having to be a 1080p? Let me wait a minute before I go. I'm sorry.
It's certainly a step back.
Okay. Well, all right. Let me just say this, but getting back to the SD card thing.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm talking from also past experience. When somebody has a memory issue or has some kind of issue, I say, "Do you have a memory card in your phone?" They go, "What's a memory card?"
They don't know. They
don't
know.
That's what I'm getting at. Why have it in there if not people are using it? For one, I am not defending them. I'm just saying in general that the the
general public doesn't know. Yeah,
the masses don't know it, and they've turned to Dropbox, Google Drive, whatever. Well, what's Samsung's turning to? I know they're dropping their stuff, but it is another service that they're going to be upselling to the masses.
Yeah, so I'm putting in Rishi's.
Yeah, I've been seeing that. That's got me teasing. That's got me teasing. I will admit, I am very tempted to look into one of these phones.
But I think Juan would agree with me. If you're going to get an S21, I think the only sensible thing is to get the Ultra. That's just my opinion. Because all you're doing is getting the.
But who's going to get who? Okay, if you're that's you, and that's fine.
You can trade in a lot of other phones, but a 700 was the most I could get.
Show this comment right here. Yeah, I agree with Juan. Starting at $800, it doesn't seem attractive to start removing features that you've always had.
I agree. And that's the problem with the S21.
And you're like, and Mike, you're like, well, these average people don't know what SD cards is. Well, maybe they shouldn't be having their hands on $800 phones. Just, stick to the rivers and lakes that they're used to.
All those Apple people out there has got the iPhone, whatever, 5, 6, 7, 9, 20, and they never have an SD card.
But Apple can Apple can flourish shit with pumpkin seeds and people will still buy it. So maybe that's not the
exactly
pumpkin seeds. Ew, I don't like pumpkin seeds. You pick out something else?
Nobody likes shit either. Like we're focusing on the wrong thing here.
Okay, see, Juan makes a good point there. I love the way he expresses it here. Chasing waterfalls. Okay.
I warned you guys. I'm just full of anarchy and chaos and
yeah, you're full of it, all right. Oh, all right.
We never got into the story even about this.
No, we haven't. I'll get to it.
I'm the story right now. Okay, that's all. Are you going to never invite that guy again? Okay. Next time he's late.
I did want to bring up, was it 2 weeks ago? We were both talking about the 888 and the one company that was not on that list in the article was Samsung. Yep. And I said, I'll bet you they're going to come with the 888. Well, they did.
Yeah, they did. You were right.
The old guy was right. This is amazing.
What was that from region? What's the point of Samsung?
Okay. Now, Gary makes his ultimate comment. That is such a Gary comment.
Mm-hmm. Apple, yeah.
And his Juan's comment.
Whoever wants an iPhone will buy one. Removing SD card support isn't going to encourage people to buy.
Exactly, because iPhone people are going to get an iPhone, and no matter what it costs, they're still going to buy it, just like Ted said.
Yep. There's actually one of the reasons why, when I was looking for a phone to buy, was it 2 years ago? Or was it last year? And it was looking like all these people were moving their headphone jacks. I just got an iPhone. I was like, might as well just go with the people who did it first. Maybe they know a thing or two.
All right. I'm going to actually bring the story up. Now, Mike, do you want to read it or do you want me to read it?
Let me find the stories first. I'm sorry. I just got on here.
This is the S21 Ultra story.
Hang here, and he's just started.
Go to the Mobile Visa webpage. You'll find the stories.
I'm going here.
Meanwhile, we could focus on Gary's story, like how Samsung is basically Apple 2.0. Yeah, Samsung is trying to be Apple so bad. I think Samsung is keeping around Bixby, not to compete against.
Did they mention about it?
Google Assistant.
Ted, did they mention about Bixby at all?
Nope. But Samsung keeps Bixby around because Apple has a shit AI, so Samsung has a shit AI. They're just following the game plan.
So, but everybody defaults to Google to the Google Assistant here. So,
all right, I probably have a story on The Verge. I know
on The Verge. Let me see. Okay.
All right, whenever you're ready, Mike.
I'll take some of it and you guys can wrap it up kind of thing.
All right, go for it.
Samsung Galaxy S21, S21 Plus, and S21 Ultra first look. Polished design and prices. Starting at $799 and available on January 29th.
2 weeks from today.
Mm-hmm. Samsung's latest flagships are here: the Galaxy S21, Galaxy S21 Plus, and the Galaxy S21 Ultra. The first two, which starting at $799 and $999 respectively, mark some of the least expensive flagship phones that Samsung has made in years. While the $1199 S21 Ultra aims to be not just the top spec phone in Samsung lineup, but also the best phone, period.
I agree.
I was able to verify trying out all three devices last week, and they all are they all share the same design.
No, they all share a new design line.
Yes, because it's the same design. It's just you're getting a new chip in it. Anyway, design language that throws a lot of what I come to expect from Samsung's smartphone. The internal changes are more incremental from last year's S20 lineup, though it's in some cases there are an intentional step back. All three phones available for pre-order and will be launching on the 29th. They're wait a minute. Intentional? Am I reading that right?
Yes, because the S21 and S21 Plus intentionally took a step back. That's true.
So I gotta stop for a second. So the step back is. So are we bracing for the next big thing? Are we?
No, you'll see it as you go down the article. You'll see it. They wanted to make it cheaper. This is how they did it.
Cheaper. I said earlier, I'm forgetting what tweet post. I think are going to go all in foldables. Personally,
we'll see.
The new devices can effectively be divided into two categories: the S21 and the S20 Plus, which are aimed to achieve more wallet-friendly flagship experience, and the S20 Ultra, the ultimate Samsung phone that cuts no corners and aims to offer the most premium phone possible with a price tag to match.
Yeah. And like I said, I wouldn't have bought it if I didn't get that $700 because I wasn't going to spend that.
Unlike the past years, the S21 and S21 Plus are almost identical devices this time around, barring the obvious differences in screen size, battery size, and the one or two other minor details. Is the Plus model plastic also? I thought I heard it was
no. I think just the S20.
Yeah, just the 21 is the Plus is glass.
But the most important change in these two phones isn't exactly the hardware itself. It's after years of creeping prices, Samsung has finally reversed course with the S21 and 21 Plus actually starting at $799 and $999 respectively this year. That's a full $200 less than last year models.
So they're all getting credit for that.
And in order to accomplish that, Samsung made a few compromises in order to reach those lower price points.
Okay, now as you read on from here, you'll see the intentional step backs. Go ahead.
Okay, the displays, while the same 6.2-inch S21 and 6.7 in the S21 Plus sizes as last year's models, they dropped subtle curved edges that have been a Samsung hallmark for years. Those flat panel screens also feature a step down in resolution from 3200 by 1440 panels on the last year models to more modest 24 by 1080 resolution.
So there's a definite step back.
Both phones still offer 120 hertz refresh rate. Although it's dynamic adjusted now. Lastly, the RAM has been dropped from 12 to 8 gigabytes.
Another step back.
Okay. The smaller Galaxy S21 makes an additional trade-off with the back panel is made of plastic. Damn it. Okay, not glass, and lacked the ultra-wideband radio, which the S21 Plus and the Ultra offer better integration with Samsung's new Smart Tag, Galaxy Smart Tag.
Yeah.
Lastly, the Samsung is following in Apple's footsteps by no longer including a charging brick or headphones in the box. To justify it with simple environmental reasons, although Samsung will also likely save a few dollars by not bundling those parts. Now, let me ask you guys real quick. Are you able to get headphones like last year where you had to like send an email or call customer care?
No, I got the earbuds for free because I pre-ordered, and the earbuds are priced at $230. So I got those for free.
Okay, I didn't know if you could get the wired ones. I thought I heard people saying that we're getting.
I haven't even heard about the wired ones. I don't even know if there's wired ones this year.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to finish up this one paragraph, and somebody can pick it up if you don't mind.
I'll read this part about the Galaxy S21 Ultra.
The biggest question is, are those admitted small changes worth $200 price cut? We'll have to wait until we can put the new S21, S21 Plus through their paces in all upcoming reviews.
Yeah.
Now, go ahead. I got a lot of comments, but go ahead. I'll be quiet.
Oh, wait, let me get some of these comments from these guys. Okay, we already saw that.
We already saw that one too.
We saw that one too. Now here's Rishi's thinking. Rishi's thinking this. I disagree with that. I don't think you can even compare OnePlus to Apple and Samsung ever, at least not in the U.S. So I totally disagree with that statement. Now here's Juan's comment. Sucks that making it cheaper comes with huge compromises.
You skipped my comment.
The V50 only reduced screen res and telephoto camera. Everything else was a big upgrade. See, he's got a point.
You skipped my comment, Juan.
Skip whose comment?
Mine, above Rishi's.
Oh, sorry. When Samsung refines the trim features off. Yeah, they trim features off, I guess you will.
Yeah, it started with the Galaxy Z Fold 2.
How so?
Well, they, on the base model, I don't even think there was a base model, but they reduced the number of the storage size.
Oh, okay.
And then what else did they do? I think they also removed the SD card support.
Okay, since I never even considered getting a Z Fold, I don't even pay that much attention, But I'm sure Nigel will be letting us know when he gets his. Let's see, Apple. Brian, Apple came in and pimp slapped OnePlus sales with their 11 sales. Yeah, and you know what's the worst selling of the iPhones this year? The Mini, the one they thought was going to be the big seller.
Yeah, I didn't think that's a niche phone. That's for people that want to remind themselves of the good old days.
my coworker has one, and the first time I put it in my hand, my first thought was, I couldn't use this little tiny thing. That's the first thing that popped into my head,
I liked it, but you know what I like it the most? With the iPhones, it's like their edges are they're too sharp for my hand. And, with the Mini, it doesn't feel as sharp because my phone is able to, hug the whole thing. Yeah,
the corners were very sharp. I noticed that right away. Now, Renz is saying we only get the Exynos variant. But, Renz, they're saying that this Exynos is going to be a lot better. So, but that's what they're saying. So, let's hope so. All right. I'll take the next couple of paragraphs.
I was going to say take the Ultra. Oh, yeah. You want to take the Ultra since you bought it? Okay.
No. I wasn't even down to the Ultra yet.
Okay.
All right. It's not all downgrades, however. The processor is Qualcomm's latest Snapdragon 888 chipset, which promises big improvements in overall performance. There's comprehensive 5G integration on both devices with support for mmWave and sub-6 networks, which I think is great that you got them all covered. The fingerprint sensor has been upgraded to Qualcomm's new 3D Sonic Sensor Gen 2, which should be faster and easier to use. And I can tell you, the old sensor, at least with my S20, it's always 2 or 3 times before I can get that phone to open. So hopefully this one's a lot better. And the batteries are still big. The S21 still offers a beefy 4,000 milliamp battery. S21 Plus upgraded to an even larger 4,800 milliamp, which I think is good. But the biggest update this year is the new design, which ditches the glass slab sandwich that Samsung's been using for years for an updated look. It's easily my favorite thing about the new phones. After years of dealing with the protruding camera bumps that have been the de facto cost of offering bigger sensors and better lenses on our smartphones, the S21 and S21 Plus embrace the camera bump instead of trying to work around it. The S21 and S21 Plus still have camera bumps, but they look good as seamless pieces of metal that flow out naturally from the matching sides of the phone with smoother edges and spiffy
metal
designs. Yeah, well, on the camera bumps, I guess.
Okay.
Lastly, largely unchanged from last year, though, is the camera system itself. Both the S21 and S21 Plus offer a 12-megapixel wide-angle camera, a 12-megapixel ultra-wide camera, and a 64-megapixel telephoto lens, along with the 10-megapixel selfie camera. The S21 Plus no longer has a depth sensor. Another step back. If those sound similar, it's because the hardware is virtually identical to the cameras found on last year's Galaxy S20 and S20 Plus. Exactly. Another reason I didn't go for either one of those. Samsung has made some improvements on the software side of things, including the 30x space zoom mode, a new director's view mode for video that makes it easy to swap between lenses while filming. I like that. In addition to Samsung's single take mode. Yeah, I never quite got into single take much. Samsung has told us that it will no longer over smooth faces. That's good. Instead, making it an option. It's high time that happened. I agree. All right, Ted, you're on it.
All right, Galaxy S21 Ultras. If the S21 and the S21 Plus are more restrained steps back, notice how they said back in the smartphone design. Yeah. The Galaxy S21 Ultra is a phone that imagines what it would have been like if Samsung had done it right the first time. It's a phone that promises the very best of what Samsung's hardware and Android can offer if you're willing to pay for it. Starting at $1,200, a price that doesn't include any extras like an X Pen stylus or a case. Right. The S21 Ultra is Samsung's third superlatively named phone and the successor to last year's S20 Ultra. And it has a lot in common with the original, including a massive screen, a 108 megapixel camera, and the top-of-the-line specs. But the S21 Ultra is a more refined version of last year's model, one that looks to smooth out some of the sharp edges for a better experience. Literally, in some cases, thanks to the Samsung's new rounded design language, which is similar to the S21 and the S21 Plus. Reading this, I'm not sure what's the Note 20s, if there's going to be a new, what's going to have. Looking at the spec sheet, the S21 Ultra checks almost every box: a 6.8-inch screen, 3200 1440 OLED display, which refreshes up to 120 hertz. There's a 12 gigabytes of RAM, 5,000 milliamp hour battery, 512 gigabytes of storage, and Qualcomm's Snapdragon 888 processor. It's hard to imagine Samsung cramming more in here. Of course, it's just because Samsung can't fit it into a phone doesn't mean it's done adding features. S20 Ultra will be the first Galaxy S phone to support Samsung's S Pen stylus, making me wonder what's going on with the Note series.
Yeah, everybody's wondering that now. MKBHD said he does not think they're going to get rid of the Note, so there's some disagreement going on.
If you've used the Galaxy Note recently, you've had a good deal of what to expect. The only quibble, the stylus isn't included with your order. It'll cost an extra $40. Maybe Apple is like brainwashed me, but that doesn't sound too bad. And then $70 in a bundle that includes a case that can store both the phone and the stylus. And those cases are pretty bulky, adding extra width to an already big phone.
You know what makes me feel good about that? I have proven to myself with the Moto G stylus and with my old Note from way back, I just don't use styluses, so I don't care.
And then there's the cameras. The S20 Ultra's cameras try to shoot for the moon with its 108 megapixel camera and 100 times zoom. The technology was incredibly cool, but it had plenty of issues. The S21 Ultra promises to offer a more refined experience for a second time around. The camera has a new focal length for slightly wider shots, a new laser autofocus system, similar to the Note 20 Ultra, that should help with the focusing issues on last year's model, support for 12-bit color depth, okay, and a more refined demosaicing process.
Yeah, what is demosaicing?
Demosaicing is like, let's say you have the lines on your shoulder and you move around, it like, it shimmers a bit, or like when you have walls and it sort of like, models a bit. That's what demosaicing. Demosaicing aims to like, fix all that.
Okay.
Samsung also is working. Although, Juan, let me check to make sure if I'm right on that. Samsung is also working to give users more control over things like its AI-based phone enhancements, allowing you to do adjustments over smoothing, for example. Okay. Whether that will be enough to solve issues of the original is something that will require further testing. Oh, hey, my Project 13.
Oh, Anthony's here. Yo, Anthony, you missed some good arguing.
Let's see. Scrolling down. All right, second to last paragraph. It's a philosophy that we started to see last year with a $700 Galaxy S20 FE, an intentionally cheaper Samsung phone that aimed to offer a premium experience at a more affordable price. The $800 and $1,000 S21 and S21 Plus. Mind you, I think they just... this is what iPhone did for the 12, right? For the 12 and the 12 Pro.
What's this again?
They didn't drop $200 off, did they? No.
It's the same price though.
Same price, yes. Go ahead.
So feels like extensions of that philosophy, expanded from the niche fan edition to the most mainstream Samsung's hardware. Factor in the almost omnipresent Samsung sales, and the S21 could be the most affordable Galaxy S device in recent memory.
But I agree with Ron. I think you're better off buying the FE.
Or the Galaxy S20.
Or the Galaxy S20 for $500, yes.
For years, Samsung has focused on making the best phones on paper that it could. The S21 lineup feels like an attempt to make the best phone for different needs of different customers, rather than simply the most excessive phone it can muster. I guess that's what the Z lineup is for now.
That's what I think too.
Well, I say it's going to. That's where they're going to start putting their eggs in.
Well, sure. Well, they're saying that there's a lot of rumors they're going to come out with 4 folding phones this year, so we'll see.
It might be the right strategy in the midst of a struggling economy, but it means that smaller phones aren't quite as impressive. With the S21, if you want the best thing Samsung has to offer, you're going to have to buy the biggest thing.
And that's exactly what I did. Oh, Anthony, of course, they offered $700 for my S20. I ordered the Ultra yesterday.
Something the average consumer would never have done.
What, that to get the Ultra, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I just think the Ultra's a good, the best deal. I think the other two, I think you're better off buying the S20 for $500 or buying the FE. I just don't think you're
marketing for.
Huh?
Who's the Ultra going after?
People who have the money to afford it.
People who want the best. The Ultra's for the same people that buy Apple phones in Android. It's the only difference.
Is that what you think? I mean, I can't put a number or a finger on it. Why would anybody want to buy that phone? That's not.
I'm going to guess it may be the best. Not counting.
It's for the people that see how big it is and they go, "Ooh, it's so big!"
Maybe
Wow.
the best Android phone that Samsung's made.
Then wait a minute, Ted, are you suggesting that this is a flex? Is this somebody want to show off they got the biggest and baddest?
No,
they just like to see a really big screen.
Well, obviously I don't buy it for that because I drive a
no. I know.
I drive a 2003 Cavalier, so obviously I'm not into showing off anything.
No, I'm saying, George. I'm saying for you, you're a camera guy, so I know that's a no-brainer. You know what I mean? And you're
I'm thinking camera-wise, this might be the best they've done too. I want to see.
You were impressed with the 20 alone.
Yes, I was. Yes, I was. I'm just thinking this is going to be a big step up for me coming from the lowest end S20. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And I noticed the conversation, though, it's like either the 20 is a great deal and the FE is a great deal.
Yeah, I would highly recommend the 20 to anybody
and jump up to the Ultra. So is it making the Plus model the redhead stepchild of the group?
I kind of agree. Here's one. It should be for folks who want to replace more.
Oh my God, Juan, come off of it. Nobody is replacing their laptops with phones.
Why not?
Well, we are getting to the point where people will be able to do that, I think.
Where we are able to do it. Will people do it?
Yeah, because I do agree. You can replace a laptop with some phones nowadays, but you're going to, it's going to be a lot of work.
What was it? 2018. When we went to CES, George.
Right.
Razer brought out the Project Linda, where you put the phone in the laptop.
Yes.
And then,
yeah.
That was on the Snapdragon, 835. Very cool. Very wow.
It looked very cool in person.
And then, also Huawei made it like, that had the easiest way to connect your phone to desktop mode with just an HDMI cable. And then Samsung finally caught up to that.
Yeah.
Samsung pretty much now has like the best DeX, phone laptop experience.
And that's what one is saying, the same thing.
Yeah, but look, Samsung is still making Chromebooks, and DeX at this point can actually outperform DeX. What does that tell you? People are still happy with the keyboard, this 90-degree angle workspace thing that.
Yeah. Oh, and Mike, I meant to tell you before. Now tomorrow morning, I'm going up to my upstairs to help my landlord's daughter download her all her pictures off Facebook because she's going off Facebook. Period. Done. But you made a point before about SD cards. I helped her set up her new phone a couple of weeks ago, and this is a lady in her like 40s, so and she knew nothing about what's an SD card. Her and her mother both said, "What's an SD card? What's a SIM card?" So that's your average consumer.
They don't know about that, and then they see this little thing.
Put Juan's comment back up like that. It should be for the folks that want to replace their laptop with the phone. Like, why would that even? They don't even have to get the Ultra for that. They could do it from the 10 down.
Now I'm going to follow that up with Anthony's comment. Okay.
Use a laptop tablet.
He's going to use a tablet. No, okay.
George, your neighbor, what kind of phone do they have?
She got a very cheap what's Walmart's
family Walmart plan?
Not the plan. The
Walmart has their own phone, which doesn't surprise me. But
the ones they advertise to all the old folks.
Consumer.
But in any case, that's what she got because it's cheap. She's not spending. Her and her parents are not going to spend more than $200-$300 on a phone.
All safe.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
Now here.
Wow, Wolf's got. He's tried using Des as his main desktop. When his Mac went down, Des runs like an old Chroma, but he gets the job done most of the time.
Yeah, and I remember him making couple of things in his videos about that.
Yeah, Des runs very great. And, it technically should be able to outperform the Chromebook Samsung's able to put out with the Intel chips. Okay. Samsung, for some reason, is not battling down when this could only benefit their brand.
Look at Anthony's comment. His,
V20.
He's still doing it. Yeah,
he does everything on the smartphone. Mm-hmm. And Jay Will has tried to talk him out of that for years. Not happening.
Well, so does Paul Tech. Paul Tech does everything on his V50.
He does everything. I didn't realize that. And he was there with us in CES, right?
Yeah. He does everything on his V50, the editing and all that. Yeah. I tried to run. Yeah. Travis McP also just ran a G. I'm curious how he did on that one because I think LG has the worst desktop mode out of all the manufacturers.
Okay.
It's pure. It's torture. You're living. I'm living in 2000 and late. True. I'm living to 2000 late.
You know what I like about this, Mike?
What's that?
This is not the oldest guy that says he's living in the past. He's telling the youngest guy. I love
that. Phones are for phone calls. You kids with your Insta messages, just call them.
Now, one thing I have to say, becoming 76 in a couple of weeks, I do actually say to people, "Boy, you kids today." I said that a lot because I like the bus chops.
Now, Ted wants to be Tony Stark, not James Bond on the go.
Yeah, but remember, Ted, Iron Man just died. You want to keep that in mind. All right, now we can move on to another story, which I think this story is a big deal.
The Qualcomm buys Nuvia?
Yeah, I'll read this one. Okay. Yeah, I think this is I think this is going to end up being a big deal to Apple, is my guess. This is on Forbes.
Nuvia. That sounds like a sweetener.
It does, doesn't it? Qualcomm acquires Nuvia for $1.4 billion to take Apple, Intel, and AMD head on. My computer's acting up. Okay. Mobile silicon heavyweight and 5G innovator Qualcomm announced a blockbuster deal this morning. This was yesterday, I think it was yesterday, that it intends to acquire Nuvia for $1.4 billion. As a custom ARM-based CPU startup, Nuvia's design engineering and executive team brings with it a pedigree of proven execution, having formerly contributed to custom ARM CPU development at Apple for its Mac and iPhone products. It's a bold move by Qualcomm that makes a lot of sense and likely accelerates its efforts to expand into new markets and product categories. Qualcomm already has excellent in-house custom design resources and IP for the various engines on board current Snapdragon mobile processor offerings, from the GPU to image signal processors to silicon engines that accelerate AI. However, as an ARM licensee, Qualcomm has more recently been integrating mostly off-the-shelf ARM CPU cores into its design. As such, it's clear that Nuvia will bring true custom ARM core development to Qualcomm. Looking out into the future, should NVIDIA's acquisition of ARM be approved by regulators, this move could effectively make the company less reliant on NVIDIA ARM, only requiring Qualcomm to license the ARM instruction set itself. In addition, if what we're seeing of Apple's M1 silicon currently is any indication, the Nuvia design team brings the ability to scale performance further up the curve for higher-end power-optimized solution. However, this acquisition isn't just about CPU cores, but also leading-edge SoC system-on-a-chip integration and design. Those are the guys that came from Apple to start this company. Too far. Qualcomm to enable the best core for the job. Modern-day system-on-a-chip architectures are highly tuned many-engine design. CPU, GPU, DSP, and other types of specialized engines are all part of the optimized heterogeneous computing solutions required for anything from laptops to smartphones, autonomous vehicles, 5G infrastructure, and much more. System-on-a-chip integration is what it's all about now, and the best tuned core for the job is what gets the workload. Qualcomm obviously felt Nuvia's expertise in complex silicon integration would be a valuable asset in this current trend of specialized processing engines working in tandem with traditional CPU architectures. This excerpt from Qualcomm's press release on the acquisition is what caught my eye. Creating high-performance, low-power processors and highly integrated complex SoCs are part of our DNA. Adding Nuvia's deep understanding of high-performance design and integrating Nuvia's CPUs with the Snapdragon together with our industry-leading graphics and AI will take computing performance to a new level and drive new capabilities for products that serve multiple industries. Qualcomm also had a long list of supporting statements from ecosystem partners to go with its release, with execs from Microsoft, Google, Samsung, HP, General Motors, Bosch, and many others chiming in. It's clear to me that acquiring Nuvia will help Qualcomm compete more directly with the likes of Apple, Intel, AMD, NVIDIA, and others, as ARM-based designs continue to expand into new markets and operating systems like Windows on ARM. Conversely, that's not to say Nuvia doesn't also give Qualcomm the ability to pivot to other instruction sets as well in the future if need be. In fact, I expect the acquisition of Nuvia is likely a brilliant move, providing Qualcomm a solid insurance policy that will enable it to be more flexible in its silicon design approach moving forward, as well as more quickly expand beyond handsets and 5G infrastructure to take on the big guns in core computing. For clarity, however, in an analyst briefing this morning, Qualcomm Senior VP of Product Management Keith Crescent told me the company's primary interest in Nuvia is not spurred by the efforts in the data center market, but rather an expansion of its efforts in power-efficient connected computing solutions. To me, that says, heads up Apple, Intel, and AMD. Qualcomm and Nuvia are coming after your core client and embedded computing business, and they're staffing up some serious A-list talent to do it. I agree with that 100%. So I think this is going to be a big deal at some point.
And what role? What do you think this?
Because with Apple's M1, and a lot of people are thinking the M1 is going to make some big differences in the industry. I think this might be the
main focus. I think the main focus is for computers now. Remember, Apple is going to be leaving Qualcomm in about 2 years or so with their modems. So Qualcomm needs to expand. And
I agree. But I think this is going to give Apple some serious competition. Obviously, so does that writer.
Yeah, really. It's not really a competition for Apple. I think it's more competition for Intel again. I think this leads them to focus more on Windows on ARM.
It seems like everybody's beating up on Intel lately.
Windows on ARM, those everyday PC things that were supposed to be amazing, which they are amazing in terms of battery life and always being connected. Let's see. Untitled, the performance of A series chips. Yeah, for tablets. Tablets need all the powers for whatever tablets people use tablets for, that they don't use their phones for, Juan. What can I tell you?
Now, what does he mean by that?
Who knows? Probably has a phone in his face.
What did you say here? Tablets clearly need all CPU.
And GPU for something, if not everything.
Okay. I don't know what Brian means. I don't think Apple would do that.
Ted, do you have a Chromebook?
I had one. Yeah, the Chromebook 2015 Pixel LS, and I sold that off.
That's right. I remember you had that. Yeah.
Did you care for it, or not so much the model, just Chrome OS? How it worked and all.
I like the Chrome. I like the Chrome OS side. I didn't like that whole Android side. To be honest, it made me if I had to do a workflow, I had to the Chromebook had two personalities. If I wanted to do access something on the YouTube side of it or the Android side, and sometimes it would glitch and it wouldn't work on one side. So then I have to be okay, we're gonna go on the Android app and try it out.
Got you.
Otherwise, performance great. Yeah, everything was. Chrome OS is just
to me the most impressive thing about a Chromebook is how fast the freaking thing boots up all the time. It's amazing.
6 seconds. 6 seconds.
Yep.
But Apple's they do not boot. Well, they don't boot up as fast as 6 seconds, but still in the seconds department.
Yeah. All right, Mike. This story. This was your story. I'm going to let you read it.
Yeah. You ready?
But no, let's go back to the 8. See, I just want to know: has anyone used the everyday PCs, a new one, not just the one that had the 835 or a beefed up 835 in it?
Piece computer.
The ones the ones from Qualcomm, that have the Windows on ARM with the 8CX chip.
No, this thing
I don't think I have.
No.
Nope, nobody. Darn. Okay.
Here's Rishi's comment.
What's he saying? Gone are the days of hooking up i7 Max with external GPUs. The M1 Max feel like they're from the future.
Seems like a lot of people seem to feel that way, though. All right, let me share the screen.
Apparently, there's supposed to be an
Mike,
article, and Apple is actually making new Pro models of it for the 14-inch and 16-inch MacBooks.
I'm not surprised. All right, Mike, whenever you're ready.
Next one. Global sales of used, refurbished, and smartphones are going up. The total of 200 oh man, all these things stop popping up. Thank you. Sorry. The total of 225.4 million used smartphones sold worldwide in 2020 represents a 9.2% increase and compared to 2019. The IDC expects this trend to accelerate, growing over 10% per year to reach 351.6 million used units sold in 2024. The manufacturers and telecom operators alike are increasingly encouraging consumers to recycle their smartphones rather than keep them in an unused in a drawer. Opting for refurbished models is better for the environment and simple way to extend the life of a product and allow you to save money, since refurbished models are obviously cheaper than the new ones. At the same time, the market for new phones is expected to decline between 5 and 10% in 2020. Now, I shared that with you guys because I don't know. I could probably count on my hands, my fingers and toes, how many open box, refurbished, used stuff, so I can get the experience. You know what I mean? Here's right here. This is an open box. I mean, that's an open box. This was bought on Swappa,
Okay.
Let's see.
Yeah, my G8X, I got on Swappa.
Yeah, you see, and I see them pop up, especially most of the time I see them on the what do you call it, Simple Mobile, Total Wireless. They
Right.
the person onto their service, and they'll come in and say, "Here, refurbish. We'll give it to you for free."
Okay, yeah.
So think about.
And I agree with what Brian's saying here, but I think a lot of it is because of 2020 and Corona.
Mhm.
That's my guess.
Think about all these devices, like George, who's going to use his S20 to trade in.
Right.
Think about that.
And just think how phenomenal it is. How often does George get rid of a phone? This is momentous, folks.
I understand. I want to just go buy that S20 when it comes on sale. I'm going to be looking. I want the one that guy named George Hayes.
Yeah. All that'll make you do is make you feel older right away.
Put a mark on it. Put a little notch, GH on it. This way I say, the one's marked for GH. Okay, can I get that one? Yeah. So what else I got? What else I have? Heck, my S10. My S10 is an open box.
I loved my S10. I have to say.
Yeah. You have an S10?
I had an S10. I traded that in to get the S20.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right.
No, I did not. What am I saying? No, I traded in for the iPhone 11.
Okay, I was about to say at this point you're just leasing phones.
Last year.
Well, that's what this whole trade-in thing is for Samsung. Think about it.
You're just leasing it, yeah.
You're just borrowing it, and then you're going to trade it in for the upgrade and spend a few bucks for it. So.
But at least I feel like I'm getting a bargain, so that makes me feel
no, you are. You are, and especially
since I got the earbuds.
As long as Samsung feels like they're getting money from you.
I saw those cameras, and I immediately thought of you, George. I really did. I said, man, I bet you he's licking at chops, wondering if he can get on this,
Yeah, I'm wondering if these cameras on the Ultra is going to be as good as I think they are. I hope so. Now, of course, Brian's right, but Jerome is not going to buy a used phone. So
there's a market for both. Well, I'm on the other side.
Well, and I think there's you and there's Jerome, and I'm kind of in between because I'll buy a used phone every once in a while. So. Ted, what are you doing?
Oh, sorry. I thought my G8X was saying there's an update. And I was like, ooh, but it's a privacy policy update.
Okay.
And it's about California.
The next story I'm going to let you have, Ted, because you're the one that you're the one that came up with the mask story last week, and I only put this story in because it looks like this mask will top the mask you had.
Oh my gosh! If I could go around in public sounding like Bane, that would be very nice. That would be probably the one good thing about all this.
Anyway, so I'll let you take this story. This is one of the ones I found on BBC again.
Is this the world's smartest face mask? Well, it looks like it's the coolest one.
I think
the prototype revealed. I don't like the prototype. Revealed at the tech convention CES claims to amplify users' voice to prevent muffled speech.
Which has been a problem with masks, let's face it.
Yep. The design concludes active ventilation, exhaling exhaled air whilst pulling in cooler air. The company says the mask is classified as an N95 surgical mask. However, the BBC has not reviewed the product. The mask itself is made of transparent plastic, making it easier for people to lip read and pick up facial cues.
Lip reading through a mask? That's amazing to me.
Defeats the purpose of the mask, some would say. But a transparent mask is hardly an innovation itself. There are plenty on the market. In fact, I forgot. I
didn't even know that.
Yeah, there's a UK guy. There was a UK article about the guy who tried out a $2,000 quarantine helmet.
Okay.
Yes, it's $2,000. It's essentially a helmet, though.
Yeah, I won't be getting that. I'll keep my motorcycle helmet. Thank you very much.
A transparent mask is hardly innovation itself. There are plenty on the market. However, the company says it also has a low light mode. That means the mask interior lights up automatically when dark, illuminating your mouth. Razer claims this allows you to express yourself clearly regardless of the lighting conditions.
So you could actually say to the guy in the dark, hey, lighten up, dude.
Look at that. Look how he looks with the lighten up green.
Yeah.
Is it comfortable to wear with all that tech inside? Well, the BBC tech team hasn't tried it out. So why are you asking these questions? But Razer still says a silicone fitting around the face keeps the comfortable and stops the mask from itself from touching the rest of your mouth.
Which is good, I think.
It also prevents your glasses fogging up too with that silicone thing. I like that.
Yeah, I like that too because my glasses fog up every time I put my glasses on when I'm trying to read something with the mask on.
It also says thicker earlobes apply less pressure on your ears. The mask's patented voice amp feature is arguably the most technologically advanced aspect of the mask. The company says the built-in mic and the amplifier will make your voice clearer. Muffled speech can be a particular problem with the traditional nose and mouth coverings. This is a concept product, unfortunately. It's not currently for sale. The BBC has reached out to Razer and has yet to receive a response. Razer be teasing.
Yeah.
However, speaking to the Verge technology website, the company said the ventilator's longevity is still being tested along with when the filters need to be changed. Other companies have unveiled an eye-catching concept products at this year's CES Expo, including a Cadillac-branded vertical takeoff and landing electric vehicle from General Motors, a tablet display that rolls into a scroll from TCL.
Did you see the toilet one?
Yeah, I was going to read that one.
Okay.
A toilet that analyzes your poo to make dietary recommendations from Toto. I don't need a toilet to be in my business. I just need to take my business.
Thank you very much.
GM's chief executive said the firm was exploring aerial taxis among other vehicles of the future. We ain't going to see that one in our lifetime.
Yep. Anyway, I just thought that was an interesting. But like I said with last week's mask thing, what are the filters going to cost? Because I thought the filters for the one we had last week were kind of expensive to me.
What was it like? You had to change. It was $20.
No, it was $30, wasn't it?
Oh, $30. Yeah.
Yeah.
$30 for a month. Yeah,
I just thought that was kind of expensive for most people. So I can imagine what this thing is going to cost.
For the masks, I don't know. I'd pay up to Kickstarter it up to $200.
Okay. We already did the WhatsApp story before you got here, Mike, and we also did the Elon story. But time is perfect anyway. All right, so now we're going to our glowing rectangles. All right, let me get rid of this. All right, so I need to pull up the glowing rectangles on the screen. And I need to share screen.
Ooh.
Okay, now, Ted, what do I hit to see the top story for the day? Is it already on top?
No. You hit. Oh yeah, it's already on top. Yeah, it says top.
It is up. Okay.
Yeah, actually, just hit top though. It just shows you the one that has the most updates. Just hit top, and it'll automatically show you the one of today.
Okay, so you're right. That was the top story.
What was it? I'm trying.
It looks like it's a podcast with our very own Juan Bagnell. And then under that is a
like
Galaxy commercial.
I had one as the guest. It looks to me. Well, let's hear a little bit. Oh, that's right. You can't hear it when I do that, can you? So.
Yeah. You have to take out your thing.
Yeah.
Your earphones.
Oh.
Okay.
Juan, you there? You wanna give me a script I can read off for our glowing rectangles endorsement?
I think probably one. He stayed a long time. I'm always really, really flattered when he stays a while. All right, so that was number one. What was number two?
Oh, now, come on! That was hardly a thing. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, today's spot is brought to you by the R Glowing Rectangles subreddit. That can be found at www.reddit.com/r/glowing rectangles. The purpose of this subreddit, or community I should say, is to not only rely on the YouTube algorithm in bringing you juicy tech content, rely on your fellow tech enthusiasts. And this is made possible on the Glowing Rectangles subreddit, where users share their stories that have a good conversation or have interesting creators, even small ones too. So,
did you see that I actually put one of mine up there this week?
Did you now?
Yes, I did. And you put it up too. My phone of the year. My device of the year.
What was that? The Galaxy S20?
No. The Microsoft Surface Duo.
Yeah.
That was earlier this week, so it wouldn't be here. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I know. I just thought you'd be surprised that I actually submitted one. Spectacular Gadgets. I see she submits like every day, doesn't she?
Well, I have it set so that it automatically uploads your videos, George. So.
Oh, do you? Oh, okay.
I wasn't gonna be.
I didn't know you could do that.
As a programmer, I'm surprised.
Well, I didn't know you could do that here on this site, is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, I use if this then that.
If then that, yeah.
Yeah, that's what, and I think that's what Juan uses as well.
Okay.
But yeah, so the top story is actually, the top post is actually a podcast.
Well, obviously, with Juan as the guest, and Juan's the guy who started this subreddit in the first place.
Yes, and I don't know, the actual channel is Audio, what is it called?
I need to get Adam.
Audio 46, where they talk about toxic audio files, elitist marketing, and the true wireless revolution.
See if I can reload this so I can get that picture back where it was before. Yeah, there it is, toxic audio files.
Oh.
What do you eyeing? So we're done for today?
Oh no, I was gonna go into discuss the other stories.
Okay, go. Am I going down or what?
Yeah, go down a bit.
Tell me where.
So we also have second place is from what's his name again?
From?
Tech Odyssey. Thank you. I don't know, but it's a juicy title. BlackBerry sold patent to Huawei. I don't know what.
Did they really do that?
That gotta click the video to find out. I don't know. True.
You
can't rely on the algorithm. Yeah. Yeah. And then third place we have the Tech Fashionista Isa Does, where she goes over the Xiaomi Redmi Note 9 T5G. Jesus Christ, that name. Camera, which is also 108 megapixels, but sells at $600.
Yeah. Well, because of Juan and Joshua, I subscribe to her anyway. So.
And then, my personal favorite video that I watched today. Scroll down a bit. Past Jerome's short.
Oh, past Jerome's?
Yeah, past Jerome is Tech King Mike, who does a very good tech debate stream on his channel. Go definitely subscribe and check it out. He also unveiled his setup, which is actually very, aside from the whole that Rode caster or whatever, it's a very simple and doable setup, which I really like.
I saw when he put it up, but I was working. I never got a chance to watch it yet.
Yes. I think my personal favorite was actually the desk, which was only like $300. He has a standing desk that he got to the thing. And then he has this velvet thing on the table. It's a very, very nice, very classy, understandable, very simple setup.
Understated, as it were.
One thing I did like was actually his light stand that he uses. He uses a C stand, which is like $100, which is a lot for a light stand. But I guess he doesn't need sandbags, which I have to use for my Amazon Basics light stand.
I just use box light like most.
Box lights?
For my, the light you're seeing me in is a box light.
Yeah, one of those soft light or soft light or something like that. I forget how they pronounce it.
Yeah, I use box light at the desk, and I have two other box lights.
Do you use bulbs? They got bulbs, like fluorescent bulbs?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Aren't they like you got to look like pigtails?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There is a question in there. Renz has a question there, guys. He's asking before we
need to get an iPhone 12 mini 120 here with
He's in a pinch.
Contract with our local network. But any thoughts or opinion? Well, for myself, I have the iPhone 12 Pro. Oh, let me get rid of the. It's okay to get rid of the glowing rectangles.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. I don't know, Renz. Remember, you're gonna have issues with the battery. It's gonna start dying fast. So expect for the battery life to only get worse. So if you're welcome that, and you're always gonna have like a battery pack on you, then yeah, I don't see why not.
So I would highly recommend the iPhone 12 Pro, but the iPhone 12 in general. But I think Ted's probably right about the battery life because
if you're comfortable carrying around a battery pack, then yeah, go with it.
Is it really that bad, guys?
No, we don't know that it's that bad, but I would suspect it's going to be bad.
Like it's average if you use it normally. If you're a power user, it's going to drain like 2 to 3 times a day.
All right, so Renz, you got to decide. If you're not a power user, it sounds like you'll be fine. If you are, like he said, carry around a battery pack.
I said to him, I didn't take him. I thought he was an Android guy, to be honest with you. So.
I did too, to be honest.
Yeah,
All right, we are past 10 o'clock.
There was actually a guy who was on Craigslist who was supposed to be selling his Mavic Pro for $150.
Really?
But he hasn't replied to my message. I'm like, hey, I got money. Let me come up to you right now. But he's like, he hasn't replied. I'm like, his ad is still up, the jerk.
I'd be jumping all over that.
Yeah.
The guys from Team 100 are planning, according to Forbes, is supposed to be coming on.
Okay, all right, guys. I guess Team 100 probably just.
I tweeted just before getting on here asking them. They said, yeah.
Now, is it? No, Mike, you going to take next week?
What is next week?
Next week is the 22nd.
I'll
The
say
week of Martin Luther King.
That's right.
I'll say yes.
All right. So, folks, next week we will be on Joker Tech's channel, and glad for everybody that came in. Thanks very much, and I think we had a really good show tonight.
I'm going to continue the conversation we were having next week.
Okay, so
I'll give you a warning right now because I wasn't done.
Okay, so I've taken Will's place as the guy who says I'm not getting that fun, and then I order it right away. Mike's taken Will's place as the guy who starts the arguments. And
I'm going to be the true essence of the Joker. Okay, that's all I've got to say. Okay, it's as I open up my videos, it's all part of the plan.
There you go. All right, folks. I hope everybody has a very blessed and wonderful weekend. Thanks for coming in, and we'll see you next week on Joker Tech channel.
Yep. See you next weekend. Thanks for tuning in again.
Here comes
Good night.